Yes, I approve the meeting being recorded. I love that they asked me now. We're already live.
Well, I
Oh,
had it on pause.
no, I was teasing. I
Oh
was
yeah,
teasing you.
gotcha.
I just, it's like my Zoom humor.
Okay.
Got to have some special Zoom humor.
Yes, you
So
do.
welcome. This presentation is being sponsored by Score Cleveland, and our our mission and values at Score. Why is this cutting off part of my slide? Okay, can you see that better? It was cutting off the top. So our mission, vision, and values is exactly, I say this every time, but I think it's important whether we're um, doing something like this where we're volunteering for Score, but also at every team meeting. I always like to read the vision and value. So partly what the way we're presenting are pieces that you can pick up and take with you when it comes to how you present to your teams. So Score's mission is to foster vibrant small business communities through mentoring and education. We aim to give every person the support they need to thrive as a small business owner. Small business drives our national economy through business formation, job creation, and wealth building. Small businesses are crucial to the vibrant communities in our society. And volunteers give freely of their time, energy, and knowledge to help others. We just went over that. It's to elevate, right? To elevate the business community, to give back in any way that we can. So what Score is, it's the largest network of free volunteer small business mentors in the nation. So, like Karen said, when we say connect with us on LinkedIn, wherever you are, we're serious because this is something that is important to our heart, and such is the case for every Score mentor and volunteer. So, no matter what stage your business is at, Score has a mentor for you that you can easily request a mentor to help you start, grow, or transition your business today. So we often get a lot of questions about that, but Score is for all. So if you have any questions about Score throughout the night, go ahead and post them in the chat. And Karen and I, if we don't have the answer, we're going to get you to the person that can give you the answer. So we'll do our best, but any questions that you have about Score, but it's for all. It's for Black entrepreneurs, veteran entrepreneurs, Hispanic entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs. Score is for everyone, even really mixed people like me. I'm a little bit of everything. It's for all of me, all of my personalities. Oh, I love it.
You're
So,
universal.
right, exactly. I was like, for all my personalities. When the scary Sicilian comes out, though, my kids are like, oh no, mom's speaking Italian again. So it's really funny. Okay, so today we are at this point. Today is part two of solving problems at the source. We're diving into how to empower your team to be more solutions oriented. And this is actually session 5 in the overall presentation that has been on leadership soft skills. So this is part 5. So those of you that have been with us the whole 5 weeks, thank you. Thank you. For those of you that are just joining us, you are not behind. You've made no wrong turns. We will never leave you behind. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, and all is good. So you're here, and that's all that matters. So tonight's agenda for part 2 of this, how to empower your team to be solution oriented. We're going to go through practical strategies for advanced problem solving. Last week, we laid the foundation for just problem solving, right? And hopefully, those of you that were here last week, you applied some of that. And I cannot wait to get your feedback on how things worked. For those of you that have not, it's all good. You can always go back and watch that replay or just pick up exactly where you are. There's not going to be missing things. We're going to dive into overcoming obstacles to effective problem solving. Envision things that are solution oriented thinking and communication. We're going to talk about collaborative problem solving techniques and how to take it out now and make it an action plan so you can get into implementation. Because if we don't take action, then it was just a dream, right? It's like, did it really happen? Was I there? So the more we implement, we can move forward. So as we begin, I just want to welcome you all for being here and say good evening. I want you to give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself a hug, whatever you're comfortable with, but know that you need to celebrate yourself that you're here. You are spending time out of your busy schedule to learn and grow. And I want you to know I have a great deal of respect for your investment of time and your investment in yourself. And I don't take that lightly. So, as Karen said, we're going to get this train moving, but I want you to know this is interactive. So, keep asking questions, keep the chat going. We'll pause here and there. And at the end, we're going to have a whole section all about Q&A. But just know this is not ever going to be something where we just want to like spew all this content like a fire hose. We want you to be active in your learning process. So,
Tracy?
yeah.
I'm sorry. There is a mess or question in the chat from Barbara. She just wants to know how to go about obtaining a SCORE mentor. If you could just speak to that really quickly before we get
Oh, I thought
underway.
you were just going to answer that in the chat.
Oh,
Could you just
okay. I
link
can do
to,
that.
yeah. Can you, yeah, because that one's easier, I think, for you to answer.
Not a
And
problem.
you know more about that than I do. If Karen can share the link with you on where you can go to get a mentor. And there's a form you fill out and they'll assign you the right person for you. So thank you for that question. I'm sorry. I thought I saw it pop up and then it was gone. So I thought it was handled. Okay. So I'm just curious if everyone can put in the chat, how many of you are business owners? How many of you are business owners right now? And if you're not right now and you're interested, then just put like I'm interested or I'm looking into it. But I want to know how many of you, like if we were live and in person, I would be like show of hands, but in the chat, how many of you are business owners? And then my next question is, how many of you want to be successful in your business? So put that in the chat as well. And then I wanted to share this slide while we're doing that, while you're putting in, if you're a business owner and if you want to be successful, you're going to write that in the chat. And I wanted to share that to date, SCORE has been responsible for helping create over 30,000 new businesses, which I think is amazing, and helped create 100 and almost 113,000 jobs, right? Like that, I think that's amazing. And that makes me so proud that Karen and myself get to help on SCORE's behalf because the blood of our economy is really based on small businesses thriving, not just surviving. And that is so important to the work I do every day. And I know it's important to SCORE. And I just think it's really important for you to know that you are not alone, that you've got a lot of people behind you that can help you at every stage. So I think that is very important to share. So, all right. So in the early stages, we have the answer to the question. In the early processes with a mentor, I am, but I want to get started. So I love that everyone said that they want to be successful. Woohoo! If you didn't say you want to be successful, why are you here? Just it's important to ask ourselves these questions as we go along. So, our commitment to you for tonight is to invoke curiosity and use it when it comes to running your business and provide value in the area of communication and introduce the idea of thinking different about problems, right? Because often we think, oh, we try to be resistant, like, oh, or maybe it's just me. I don't know. Who else thinks like that? No, no problems. Take those back, return to sender. We often resist. But if we can dive into them and look at them through a new lens, we can start to think different about problems. So, by a show of hands, how many of you are experiencing change in your business, in your work life, in just daily life? How many of you are experiencing change? Can you put that in the chat? Oh, good. Oh, link. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Karen. Karen put the link to sign up for SCORE in the chat. Thank you, Karen. So how many of you are experiencing change? If you can put in the chat if you're experiencing change. I think these are really powerful things I like to share. I always like to pick a quote or something that moves me. And this is so important, what Warren Buffett says here. In looking for people to hire, look for three qualities, integrity, intelligence, and energy. And if they don't have the first, the other two will kill you. So what are we really saying here? look for integrity. It's most important. We can train on everything else, but integrity is going to be a foundational thread in everyone that you hire and put on your team. Another thing, with all the changes going on in the world, we want to prioritize your mental health. So I love this little quote. Your mental health is a priority. Your happiness is an essential, and your self-care is a necessity. So gone are the days that we need to be working 100 hours a week. We need to find the rhythm in between it all. That's me. Oh, I love it, love it. So these are just things I love to share. They help me on days that are rough, because business is not for the faint of heart. So um, we're going to move into asking ourselves questions like, is it possible? Is it possible that through the lens of problems, we can actually discover the recipe for success? I love this one from Albert Einstein. He says, I have no special talents. I'm only passionately curious. I remember hearing about that quote when I was in school and thinking, oh, maybe I'm smarter than I thought, because I had that in common with Albert Einstein. I'm very curious naturally. As annoying as it was to my parents, I still ask a million questions all the time. So, today, we're diving into the advanced problem analysis techniques. So, you want to look at this through any key principles for a solution oriented mindset. The key principles for this are going to be thinking about problems that come up in your business. Through the problem lens, we're going to think about the introduction to systems. We're going to talk about analyzing data and utilizing metrics for problem assessment. Karen touched on this quite a bit last week. It's like, just because one person says it's a problem, we have to look at the data. And I had said, well, numbers don't lie, people do. So we've got to look at, is there an actual problem, or do people just need to, sometimes they just need to vent and be heard. So we've got to identify with real analytics and data. And that is one of the key principles. And then you want to always, whatever industry you're in, when you think about it through the lens of encouraging innovation and creativity, it gets everyone thinking through problems to create more solutions. One of the simple techniques that I use all the time in presenting, and I wrote about it in my first book. I put the little picture of it here, Beyond Common, the 12 Essentials for Success in Life in the Workplace. There's a simple formula for this. It is about be present, and then we're going to dive into the formula that will change your life on the next slide, but it's the special formula. And then how we listen to solve problems, not listen just to talk next. This is a skill that we first, as the business leader and owner or manager, we have to embody this and teach it to our leadership team, and then teach it as a culture within our organization. And from there, when you're listening to solve problems and you decide to be the real nice, which is having conversations that may be difficult, if they're going to empower people to grow and change for the better. And when this all happens, you're able to have that triple win. The triple win is when the clients win, the staff, the team wins, and the business wins. If all three are not winning, then there's going to be a breakdown. So when we have a triple win, we have many more winners. And when that doesn't happen, there'll start to be a breakdown. So we have to prepare for those type of problems and solutions. So the formula to change your life is situation plus behavior equals results. So in any situation, and I'm in any situation, we can think back into ancient times where people were using the restroom outside, right? And toilet paper was not invented yet. Some people probably complained that it was very messy. I have no idea. I haven't been alive that long. Other people said, here's a problem. What's the behavior? Like, this situation is now is a problem. Okay, what's a behavior I can attach that would get a result? Well, someone had the astounding foresight to invent toilet paper, which we still use today. So it doesn't matter what's happening if we look at it through a lens of, hey, somebody might cut me off on the way to work today. And instead of having road rage and chasing them down, I might respond with a different behavior that is, oh, God bless them. I hope they make it to work safe. Right. And the result will be that it didn't affect my day at all. So if I responded by flipping them off, chasing them down, road rage, the result could be that we could be pulling over to the side of the road in an altercation, or we could be in a crazy accident because we let our rage and anger take over. So when you think about this formula and you apply it to every area of your life, you will discover that there's almost no situation that you cannot make better by adding a different behavior. So that's my gift to start the day. How does that feel? Do you think you could use this formula in different areas of your life? Put in the chat. Let us know what you think of that formula. And then you might be wondering, well, okay, well, why are you qualified? Oh, that's me. Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing. So I'm going to share with you. My name is Tracy Watts Serino, and this is my collab partner, Karen. And we are here to just guide you on this journey. And we're coming up on the end. We're like in this sort of descending this flight after 5 weeks that we've had so much fun with you. But for those of you that are just joining us, you might be wondering why. I am blessed to have struggled a ton with business in the beginning, to have done everything wrong you could possibly imagine, and then had the wisdom to ask for help, to hire coaches and reach out and ask people that had done something that I wanted to do and I saw their success. And that's the only thing I can take. That's the only thing I can give credit to how I've been blessed to become a 5-time international bestselling author, speaker, now holding the job of business growth strategist for entrepreneurs all over the world. I have a top rated podcast called Beyond Common Business Secrets. I've been blessed to be an award-winning business owner in the beauty and cosmetic industry. And I always say that was a former life. It was just a few years ago before transitioning to everything else. And now I'm the creator of the Beyond Common Method and the CEO Power Code. And a newer, that my slide's not updated, and a newer thing that I recently created with my children is called the Winter All Experience Box. And this was about bringing families together. So that is a little bit about me. And then I'm going to let Karen come on and talk a little bit about her.
Well, thank you, Tracy. So I am Karen Cross Hatton, and I am a volunteer with SCORE. I am not currently mentoring, but I am a volunteer on the workshop and events committee, and so have developed quite a bit of content to share with you in webinars and meetings such as this. I am also an entrepreneur. I am in the process of launching my own coaching and consulting business. And I've worked in industries across. I've been in childcare, in banking, in public utilities. I right now work full time in the community college space. So have a lot of experience to bring to the table. A lot of what I share is from experiences and the times that I've gotten it wrong too, Tracy. So believe me, but those were not failures, but lessons, and I've jotted everyone down. And so I come around to share so that you don't have to touch the fire to know that it's hot. I can help you um know that before you get too far in. And the rest is there for you, and you'll get in the slides. So back to you, Tracy.
And Karen is just absolutely brilliant. She's amazing. She has such a way of putting content together. I'm like, it's a natural gift because not everybody has that skill. So I just have to point out that strength. I'm constantly blown away by the new things I learn by working with Karen all the time. So
Thank you, Tracy. And the feeling is mutual. So
Oh,
I got my paper and
you're
pencil
like ready.
ready.
Yeah. You're ready for our notes.
Yep.
So when we don't handle problems, what do you think they lead to? I'm giving you the answer. I want it to be easy, but go ahead and put it in the chat if you think it's something like I wanted tonight to be easy in case you had a rough day. But when we don't handle our problems, it leads to what is happening. Right now, what is happening in the world is there's a global feeling of burnout, um, that people feel like they just can't catch up. There's just so much to do. So when we start with this foundation of really thinking about how we can solve problems at the source and first start with ourselves and then teach our teams to do that, even our families, when you can implement this into your home as well, it as your children start to get jobs, those business leaders will love and adore them so much more. They will stand out from the crowd. So, but things that you can do along with the problem solving are think about, um, can you relate to this? Do you see this happening in any area of your business? Of if even if you're working a job while you're starting your business, or in areas that you talk to other business owners, do you see this kind of stuff happening? And if you need support, there's always like one thing I started to do because I had been suffering this for a long time. I kind of thought it was the hat that just went with business ownership. And I'm like, oh, did I really sign up for this? It was like the moment where my dream business of serving others and teaching and sharing became my worst nightmare. And it was at this moment that I had a breakdown, which then led to a breakthrough. And through that breakthrough, I hired the right coaches to get me back on track. I started implementing a morning ritual. I started going on walks and workouts at doing workouts as sort of like a business meeting that was in action. And that really started managing my stress level and really got me to start look at solutions in more areas because my head was in the right place every day. So that I just share that because that is something that has led me to be so passionate about teaching people to solve problems because I didn't start out that way at all. Yeah, all the time. Thank you, Georgina, for saying that. Oh wait, is it Georgine? I apologize if I said your name wrong. I read it fast. So we're moving on to solving the problems at the source. This is the thing. No matter what's happening, one of the home play assignments I gave everyone was to bring your biggest problem. So for those of you that are just joining us now, while we're going through the next few slides, I want you to think about what is one of the bigger problems that you're facing in your business right now. Because when we get to that point, I want to have as many of you as possible. Because Karen and I are excited to help you do some serious digging on on the problem solving zone. We love the innovation, and when you bring problems into the light instead of burying them in the shadows, you are able to get the collective mind on it, and it makes it so much easier. It's what I call um the opposite of this, like, right? Like if you allow your problems to stay like to kind of keep you playing safe and staying small, you kind of feel like you're stuck and things aren't working. It's like all of this will come tumbling down, and instead of the problem getting smaller, you feel smaller and the problem gets bigger. And that, so what we really want to do is really think about it at the source. So I'm just curious, what do you think all of the the most successful businesses in every industry have in common? I want you to put in the chat what you think the most successful businesses have in common.
Mm, that's a good one.
All right. It's a hard one. Okay. If we don't have any ideas, I put a couple of things on here. They want, you all did it at the beginning of this. I asked, Do you want to be successful? Yes. If you decide to be in business, you usually want to be the best. You have this vision type of mindset where you realize the best is always yet to come. So even in the moments of great struggle, we are always looking for what is going to be, the best or how we can become the best. Yes, drive. Oh, I love these. Drive, momentum, inclusivity, appreciation. These are all absolutely true. I love it. You could not get this question wrong. See, I love when everybody wins. So we have more than a triple win. So, some of the things that we want to think about when we're talking about inspiring and empowering your team, you want to look for integrity. You want to look for people that do help you with the momentum. You want to look for people that want to help you build a strong, healthy culture, right? So when we look at the leadership qualities that foster innovation and problem solving, some of the techniques that we look at are just simple ones like identifying the problem. And this could be in anything. I will often share this story. For years and years, one of my territories was New York City, and I would teach a huge global show there every year. And when I was starting out and not doing as well, um, like I was on the lower level of my financial piece, I remember getting stuck, and there was no taxis from the Javits Center in New York City to any hotel. And we had all these big banners and all this stuff, and we couldn't get where we needed to go. And I wanted to sit down on the side of the street and absolutely cry, right? I didn't think, oh, I should invent Uber because but somebody else did, right? So the only thing I saw was, oh, I got to work harder. When you got to a certain level with the company that I worked for, they picked you up in a limo and took you back to the hotel. So I worked my tushy off to get to that level because I don't want to wait anymore. But had I known about this, about identifying a problem and solution, then I would have came up with, oh, who else could think of this stuff? So I will often tell the story of, yeah, I want to just sit down on their curb and cry. But somebody else, instead of crying, thought about, oh, I'll invent Uber. Right. And now we have that as a benefit. So when you're in a big city and all the taxis go on a lunch break at exactly the same time, because who does that anywhere except New York City, that you can still get a ride from an Uber or what's the other one that I use? The purple one. I use that one all the time when I'm in Nashville, but I can't think of it right now.
Lyft.
Lyft, thank you. I was like, so these were people that saw a solution to a huge problem that's happening everywhere. So, and especially in Cleveland, being somewhere that we never had a lot of taxis. So now we can get around a lot better because we have Lyft and Uber, right? So there's so many things that when you look at it through this lens, this is one of my favorite simplicities here, just like the 1 through 5, which is identifying the problem you want to work on, gather the relevant data to really make sure, is it a problem? And then clarify the problem, generate your possible solutions, and then pick the best option. The thing I want to say though is when you go through that process and you decide, you make the decision, you don't have to stay there forever. Oftentimes, leaders will hold back and spend more time spinning. Once you've spent enough time gathering all the data, you need to make a decision. If you wait it out too long, it sends the signal that you're just gathering information and you're not taking action. So then it becomes really hard to train your team to take action when they don't see you doing it. So know that it's not like set it and forget it forever. It's just make a decision. And then if you find that, okay, that's not working, you go and try something new. But you want to be in constant communication about what's happening. This is where we want to be collaborative. So you want to let your team know, hey, this is a problem that's been brought to my attention. Does anybody, especially those at the source, do you have any ideas? In any job that you've ever worked, do you like to be included? Can you put in the chat if you like to be included in any job, whether you're the leader or you were the employee, do you like to be included? Yes. Wonderful. Yes, like we all see, it's like it's human nature that we all want to be a part of something, right? So the more that we're given the opportunity, um, I think that the collaboration of it allows us to use the collection of intelligence to really solve a problem in a much bigger way. So, and the next way to do this is to even simplify it even more is we go down to if we want to do bare bones problem solving as a way to really help foster this culture throughout our team is to think about defining your problem. And then what I do this always before I take it to my team. And this might, I take like a legal pad of some kind or a whiteboard, whichever I've got with me, and I will brainstorm all the alternatives. I will brainstorm in pencil all the different possible things, and I will make it so funny. Like I will say the most ridiculous things, just because by being a little bit ridiculous, we kind of bypass our brain and start getting into our heart a little bit. And when we get into our heart, it kind of taps into our intuition and it allows us to open up our mind to different alternatives that we never would have thought of when we're just dealing with our brain. So if you can do that a little bit, and then if you have this a team already in place that you can do this with, or you have a coach, mentor, you have an advisory board, if you have any of those, then take it to them for deeper brainstorming activities. Then once you do that, you come back and you make a decision, but you communicate to everyone that has been actively participating in the problem solving. You communicate to them and inform them what the decision is, and then you implement your solution.
And Tracy, can I just make one quick
Yeah,
comment
absolutely.
too? Based on what your process is and putting down the silliest of silly things. Number one, it sets a tone in the room.
Mhm.
Right. And so it sets a tone. And if you're doing this brainstorming with others, when you put down the silly things, it makes them feel like it's okay if they don't have this perfect idea or solution. It gives the room permission to be able to throw out their kind of wildest things because you never know what might stick. Oftentimes, if people don't feel like they have permission, or they'll say, well, I was going to say this, but I don't want to feel stupid, or I don't want to feel silly, or I want to be taken seriously. But, it gets kind of that energy in the room that, hey, it's okay to be a little outlandish as long as we land the plane with some also, some real viable solutions as well. But when you, as the leader, take on the role of kind of putting some outlandish things up there, it makes others feel comfortable to just share their ideas, good, bad, or otherwise.
Karen, you're right. It takes away the judgment. Like it takes away that judging yourself and like censoring and filtering, right? So that's what you want to create that. Um, and then you also do want to bring the plane in. Like you got to bring it back because that's a whole lot of fun. But also that's a lot of where the most innovative ideas that we've ever created have come from being open to bypassing just like the five things that everyone else is going to figure out too, right? Like if you can get past that and go deeper, that's when you can really create innovative strategies in your business that nobody else is doing. And that can really get you known and as a standout in your industry. And that's why we're in business, right? So I think it's super important to look at it through this lens. Um, this is what if you want to then after you've done that and you want to get to like the more solution oriented thinking part, this is again simple four steps. Like what's the problem? Sometimes what are the causes of a problem? Like how I get funny with this one is you could say they're all jerks, everyone's a jerk. I mean, like you could literally like we only have mean people coming in the door. I mean, like you can play with it. What are the possible causes of the problem? I mean, maybe I was having a girl kind of day, and all the women in the room know what I'm talking about, right? So like maybe it was that time of the month for I have no, there's a million reasons that you could say what are the causes of the problem. It's not the actual reason, but when you can be funny and I'll often, oh, you're right. I must have learned to clone myself and I came in and knocked everything off the counter and messed up everything in here. You're like if that's a simple problem that's happening, like you can really play with this and then arrive at the best possible solution. Because if you are coming at this like, so, oh, I have to figure out the problem, you're going to create more problems. Like just doing that, just tightening up your energy like that is going to literally create more problems because you're coming at it so stressed and angry. So before doing this, I highly recommend going on a walk, uh, dancing to your favorite song, getting your favorite beverage, like do something that you love to do to release energy before you look through this. Because if you come at it when you're angry, you're not going to get anywhere. So just think about come at it through a place of happy. Be happy, but solve problems. I mean, this doesn't seem, but it works. It works so well. Be in a state of happiness when you're approaching it, because when we are attaching an energy field of happiness to problem solving, you're going to come up with so many more answers that are going to allow you to actually break free from problems instead of actually creating more. And then this is how we go into from here, then we dive into continuous improvement. So if you started at a foundational level and start solving some of your major problems that are existing within your business, and there's that thing that people say, it's like new each level like new devil, right? Like, so it's not that you've done anything wrong, it's just as you grow and expand, there's going to be something that expands your business that then isn't a problem now, but then becomes a problem because of the expansion. So you've done nothing wrong, you are actually growing and on the right path. But once you start to resolve a lot of these major problems in your business, then you want to continue to have that curiosity that continues driving continuous improvement. So by implementing more feedback loops and measurement systems, this allows you to set goals and really track more of your progress. Karen, do you have anything to add on this?
Nope, you're doing great.
Oh, thank you. So you see how even in the little cartoon, there's the team. Like when people have a vested interest in the result, they want to contribute. They want to be a part of it. So you want to always give that opportunity when it comes to that. So the first stage is solving all the bigger problems that exist. And once you've done that, then you want to start getting into feedback loops. If you're starting out and you have a ton of problems, a little bit of like it's really hard, and I want you to be kind to yourself. Go back to giving yourself a hug, a tap on the back for all that you have accomplished. This is hard to do until you've grown a team that's used to problem solving. So make sure you start with the bigger problems before going into this. And but as you empower your team, you're gonna continually need them. You're gonna be creating a supportive and empowering work environment, and they're gonna know that they're needed and their voice is being heard, and they'll be excited that they get to contribute because you're delegating responsibility to the people that are probably better at doing it than you. This is why I always suggest hire people that are smarter than you in every area you can, right? Because then this makes your job just so much fun and you are excited to learn the gifts of all the people on your team. Karen, do you have something to add to that? Oh, you were just shaking your head. Yes. Okay. So, okay. So, does anyone have any questions about empowering your team when it comes to problem solving at this moment before we dive in even further? I know I gave you a lot of information so far. Okay. So, good. I'm glad that we're all here. So, when we look at creating our sort of action plan and implementation, we want to create a roadmap for what it looks like to problem solve. So that's why if you start with the biggest things, like if you were a new business, the number one problem you're probably having is nobody knows I exist. Right? So if that is the biggest problem, then you want to get all the people that are working with you on solving the problem, which would be that first one right here. How do we get known? How do we market ourselves? How do we get sales? How do we get in front of the clients that are our target audience? Like that would be problem one. If you were creating systems on how to onboard clients before you have any, you're wasting your time. Right? You need to look at the problem that you have now. That is the biggest problem and solve that first. And that's why I like to look at it like a roadmap because it's not a straight line. It zigs and zags, right? There's no right or wrong way, but you can accomplish more if you sort of attack the problems in that way. And then as you assign roles and responsibilities for implementation, as the owner, you don't have to take everything on yourself. You can have a brainstorming meeting all about here's the problems, what solutions do you have, who wants to own this, right? And get the people that really want to take ownership of it. So, does anyone have any questions about putting this action plan and implementing it? Good. Okay. So I want you to put in the chat, what do most businesses do? Like, what do most businesses do? Why do businesses exist? I would love for you to put in the chat. You know it's going to be easy. It's not hard, I promise. Okay, we'll move to the next slide. Oh, good. We had someone respond. Provide value of some sort. Absolutely. Absolutely provide value of some sort. I love that answer. And this was my even easier answer for you. What do most businesses do? Why do they exist? To solve a problem. No matter what, we're solving a problem, right? Even like my son just walked in. So even my son, he loves basketball. What does that do for him? It solves the problem of giving him something to look forward to. He gets excited, right? So that's why that business exists. Why we just talked about Uber being created as something that fixed the problem of not being able to get a taxi when you were in different cities, right? What does your business do? Think about it through this lens. This is where problems are really good and really juicy. When you can identify yourself in your business as someone that solves problems, you will be the industry leader, hands down. So we've walked through all the pieces of, right? All the pieces of how you want to collaborate to make sure that you're solving problems at the source. But when people bring you these problems, especially if they're from clients, you want to lean in deeply and say, tell me more about what they said about this problem. You might want to get on the phone and call that client up and ask more questions. That could be the thing that leads you to your next best offer in your business. If you solve a problem that a client is complaining about, you will be the go-to. So I want you to think about problems through that lens, provide solutions. Yes. So always meet the needs of the people. And we often will often find when I'm hired to come in as a consultant for people's businesses, the number one thing we uncover is that they're solving lots of problems, right? They're creating these solutions and they're coming up with offers, but they're not exactly what the clients wanted. So they've wasted a ton of money marketing in their budget of creating something, and it's not even what they were asking. And I just will go through and call 5 or 10 clients and come up with an idea that they're like, why did we think of this before? You have to listen. You have to listen to what they actually want. Even when it comes, I remember I thought I heard one staff member say they wanted um to go to a fancy dinner as a team celebration one time. No, she was the only one that did. I didn't ask everybody else. And then I was mad that not everybody showed up. Well, they told me then, hey, we wanted to do like a picnic style, something. So I learned to really dig in and ask what everybody wanted. So whether it is serving your clients or your team, they're all your clients, right? Your team are your clients, as well as your actual clients that pay for your services and your products. So what are some of your favorite businesses that solve a problem? I want you to put in the chat, what are some of your absolute favorite businesses that solve a problem? While you're doing that, I can go first. So Apple is like my favorite, right? We didn't even know we had a problem that we needed to take this iPhone with us everywhere. I didn't know I needed something in my pocket all the time, right? So that to me was so innovative, and we didn't even know that we needed it, but now it's a problem. Oh, I love Franklin Covey. I have 2 friends that work for Franklin Covey, and their business is absolutely amazing. Um, so yeah, they solve the problem of organization, of leader, like getting things in line. So I love that. Homelessness. Yes. There are so many organizations that work to solve homelessness. Um, so is that, and do you work for a nonprofit? Oh, I love that score. Do you work for a nonprofit, or have you hosted some events to help with homelessness? I'm wondering, I think it was Georgine that put that.
Yes, yes,
Awesome.
that's
Okay.
me. No, I don't. This is the business that I want to start.
Okay.
Homeless. I want a home, veteran home for veteran females.
Oh, wonderful.
Um, this is the third time that I'm trying to start this,
Okay.
and but you answer a lot of questions that when I first started, they were trying to steer me in a direction that I didn't want to go.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what the problem that I see, there's homes and help for people that have health problems,
Okay.
veterans that have, but the part that we're missing, those veterans that need the help, that's coming out of the service, who've been out of the service, that are able to work, but they still are homeless. They don't
Oh,
have they don't have the finances that they need, and also to provide a service to help them to get back into the workplace.
um, and you've reached out to different people for
Yeah,
this?
but so far I had also applied for a mentor. I still
Okay.
have not had any response back from that.
Okay.
Um, again, when I talk to people that have the like housing, it's more like 20, like I would say nursing home type, and service that they need 24/7, and that's not what I want. That's
You
not
need
the
it.
direction that I wanted to go into, even though I am a nurse, but that's not it's something. And by me being a veteran, so I understand, and people don't understand that veterans want to be
Yeah.
safe when they go home. And a lot of times, I think we're missing that. It's a lot of service that they provide for men, okay, but they just now are coming into the realization, oh, she served too, you
Yeah.
know,
Right.
and
So
yeah,
I'm wondering if like Woman Safe is a great organization that I've donated a lot to over the years, and they are in Geauga County, Woman Safe, but that might be worth talking to them because their model may work for you for veterans. Do you see what I'm saying? Because they are taking people out of abuse and in that situation to keep them safe. So that might be just worth having a conversation with them of how you can keep it going and how, how you can get it going and how you can.
And there is a veteran home in Cleveland, believe it or not. It's called Sarah J. Harper Village. But
Yeah.
as far as contact, now as far as a point of contact, it's like, trying to find gold.
So, you know what? If will you reach out to me on LinkedIn? My uncle, he retired now. He worked for the VA for years and years, traveling all over. In Vietnam, his legs were blown off. And so
Mhm.
he dedicated his life then to helping vets. So, and he's like lived all over the world since retiring, but he was stationed in so many different states in the US at some point that
Mhm.
I feel like he might know. I can reach out to him and ask him more. He might know if anyone else has done this in another state that might help you do it here in Cleveland.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'm writing myself a note to ask Uncle Craig what he can do to help us.
Yeah. All right. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're so welcome. And then, so you never know who else might reach out to you because you voiced this out loud. Thank you. I
Mhm.
appreciate that. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so everyone put in the chat what their favorite. Oh, wait, I'm going backwards instead of forwards. That's no fun. Okay, so to what we're doing as far as reflecting, we already started asking like what are the business problems. So I'm just going to go through three more slides and then we're going to open it up for you to share what your like if you were here last week what your home play was for bringing us problems, or if you just have a problem that you want Karen and I to help you with and everyone else on the call. So this is where we're going to be diving in a little bit. So this when we're I wanted to share this when we talk about our commitment to ongoing learning. So the questions we were just asked about setting up a new business that caters to female VA, that have not they don't need to be all the time nurse care. They just need to have a safe home environment. That's a very specific question, but see how we gave some possible solutions in things that I think it was that Georgine, that was you that asked it. Yeah. And questions that Georgine asked, but see how now she's going to take those things, see what aligns with her and what is true to the vision that she has. And then we're going to continue to keep implementing, right? Because she is going to reach out and figure out some stuff. And then she's going to have a whole new thing that she can start connecting with people. So just know that it's not always that straight linear line. That's why I showed you that zigzag roadmap. It will get you there. Once you're just committed to ongoing learning, it works. And then we don't need to go into this. So, the way to stay on the same page with everybody is to yeah, thank you, Karen. This slide's me. So the way to stay on the same page is to continue with your clear communication. Make sure everyone knows the target. Like if you're just like, hey, we have a bunch of problems and I'm not having those anymore, that's not going to be the right approach. You want to come in, ask the team what problems they have, get everyone on board with your decision making, then make sure everyone knows the problem. And when you continually are living, breathing, and demonstrating the vision, mission, and values of your company and your organization, then you're being a true leader because you're setting the tone and by example, and it has nothing to do with the title. So now that we're putting this all together, I pulled out my favorite slide for if we had problems, right? If we had just an hour to solve a problem, you want to spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and only 5 thinking about the solution because it will actually come. So that's why it's fun to get crazy and expand your brain with all those wild things because the real solution pops in so quickly. So let's put this together. What are your biggest problems? What do you have for us? Karen, do you have any problems that you want to start us off with? But people are putting theirs in the chat.
Well, I don't have one personally, but while folks are putting things in the chat, I do want to um, make a note that when you were speaking earlier about leadership, and at the very beginning of the series, we talked about culture and leadership,
Yeah.
that oftentimes, whether we know it or not, sometimes we as the leaders are some of the biggest problem. And sometimes if we are not willing to like own that and take responsibility and be reflective and open ourselves up to feedback, um that we will never be able to solve the other problems because we are kind of at the core of some of the problems that we're already having. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. And I know that it takes us in a little bit of a circle,
Mhm.
but when we are thinking about addressing problems at the source, sometimes we are the source of the problem. And we have to be willing to, be introspective and you know, be able to cross ourselves off of that problem list.
Yes. I fire yourself if you have to. Right? Like it's true. Like in coming at it through that lens with your team, it's like, hey, if I really am the problem or I've done something so off, I can be fired too. Right? It just might be time. Even right, even Steve Jobs got let go, but then they brought him back because he fixed his problems. Right. So it happens. Okay,
Right.
so one of the we just got a problem here. Getting
Yes.
the right people that will help. So this is so true. So when it comes to getting the right people that will help, you have to first be very clear, right? Like Karen just said, like as a leader, you have to be open to all sorts of ideas and feedback and that type of thing. But when it comes to getting the right help, you have to be really clear about what your mission vision is and then start sharing it with every single person that you can think of. And then the more you share it and talk about it, you will start to see more things line up for you. And because it's like, I know it's almost like counterintuitive. You're like, but I don't know what I need yet. The more you clarify where you are now and what you think, and then start sharing it over and over and over, it will become more crystal clear because you've taken action instead of just letting it live in your brain that someday you'll do it. That is a mistake I've made so many times. It's like, oh, I'm still like percolating on it. And I find if I just get on a phone call, if I go to a networking event, I go to a party and someone says, oh, what are you working on? And I put it out there, it gets done quicker because I shared it. So you don't have to wait till it's crystal clear, the end type of crystal clear. You just have to be clear enough to have a conversation to get started. Does that, Karen, do you want to add anything? Get it? Yeah, and getting the right people to be a part of it. Do you want to add anything to that? You're muted, my friend.
My mistake. Yeah, I was just looking at both Georgine and Barb, and they kind of have the same issue
Mhm.
talking about the right people on the team. And let me just say with regards to that, and we talked about some of this a little earlier in the series, but it's really about hiring into it starts right at that level about intentionally hiring for what your business needs. And so when you're hiring, the time to find the people who want to be a part of the team is then. And you want to be able to make sure that you have the right questions or assessments or and a great understanding of what your company culture is. What do you want your company to feel like? Not just for the people that you serve, but also for the employees and the team that you work there. And then once you have those ideas in mind, and once you make sure that those things are also aligned, as Tracy said, with the mission and the vision of your organization, then you can hire the right folks. If you say, well, I'm that's not my problem. I'm having a problem finding out where they are. Well, use things like employee referral. You know what I mean? If you have some of the right people that are already working for you, word of mouth, like typically people don't want to put their neck on the line for somebody that they don't think is going to come in and do a good job.
Mhm.
And also people that already work for you, they already know what the culture is. They know what the expectations are, and they can go in their Rolodex mentally and figure out who are some folks that they would reach out to and say, "Hey, my company is hiring," and you can get some like-minded folks that, if you have some of those idea people, go to them and ask them. And
Yeah.
then also you have to go where your idea employee avatar lives, right? You have to market to and use communications where those folks who really get your business and you think would make a good fit, where they are consuming information so that
Mhm.
they even know that you're looking to hire someone into your business. So those are just a couple of ideas that I have. I don't know if that answered your question or not. I'm hoping so. If not, please drop something in the chat to let me know, and let me know if you're looking for something more.
So, two things I would add, and this is in the realm of both getting the right people that will help, getting the right people to be part of your team. We often overlook this one is once you have that fleshed out your mission, vision, um, and what you're looking for, ask everybody you know. So you might think, oh, my friend Sarah, she is running a daycare. So you would never think of asking her because it has nothing to do with your candy type of shop, whatever. Like it doesn't matter. So the thing is that it could be like completely one time I did a collaboration with a business owner friend that he makes stuff for like rocket things. You would think nothing about the beauty and cosmetic industry had to do with rock, but we helped each other network so much. It's unbelievable. So just by thinking about what you want to do, start asking everybody. It could be your family, your friends, everybody in your circle. You can say, hey, just so you know, do you know anyone that enlists the 4 points of what you're looking for? And just put it out there as an ask. That is
Okay.
the best way to start.
Okay.
Yeah, we overlooked this one and it's the easiest one. It's almost like even go through your emails of who's in your and just start messaging those people or in your phone contacts, message those people first before you start spending money on ads and all that stuff. We forget to go right to what's simple. Is that helpful? Okay. So does anyone have any other problems that you want us to help you start the framework for solving? All right. Well, as they come up, just follow the frameworks that we've given you. And I want to know what solutions will you implement first based on everything we've talked about tonight and last week, and then actually in this series in general. What solutions will you implement first? Karen, do you have any solution that you're going to implement first based on all the stuff we've talked about?
Well, at the moment, I am working from a framework of building me as a leader, right? Because problems are inevitable,
Mhm.
but if I start with me, because I am just in the process of launching, right?
Yeah.
My business. And so
What problems are coming up for you in launching?
Oh, wow. Okay, so some of the things that I'm having and launching is because I'm launching a coaching and consulting business. And so I am coming up with kind of what my flagship program is going to look like. And then, how am I going to go about marketing that? And what am I going to, do? I'm coming up with content. So those things are kind of at the top of my, and I don't know if it's a problem. I'd look at it as an opportunity, right? I have an opportunity.
All problems are opportunities.
Absolutely. So I have an opportunity to really do some deeper diving, doing some talking with folks, figuring out what kind of things they're dealing with. So like these sessions are very helpful. What are some of the things that you're dealing with? Because who knows, that could be content. That could be something I'll do another free seminar or webinar on to help folks, get some of that guided direction. So um
Can I make a suggestion to you, Karen?
absolutely.
So one of the things that I have found that works really well in all different businesses, but especially in coaching and consulting, if you're wanting to come up with a signature program or something like that, put out an ask on your favorite social channel
Hmm.
of, hey, I'm doing a new project and I'm looking for 10 to 20 business owners that are willing to meet with me for a 30-minute coffee chat and just ask a ton of questions on what they're and from there, that's all you're doing is interviewing them to get to the root. People want to help with that. It's a really good foundation for talking to the people.
I love it. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for that. That is a great suggestion and one that I'm actually going to try.
Well, there you go. I was
I
like,
love it. I love
that
it.
that one's like the best. Like if I think you're pretty active on LinkedIn. Like LinkedIn's a great place to ask that. I've done that for every single program I've ever created and almost every business I've ever started. And I teach that system to my clients all the time.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for
Yeah,
giving that to us as a bonus.
absolutely. I was like, I love, oh, good, Bar. Yeah. Like people want to help, right? Like that's the thing. People want to help as much as you would want to help them. So that's the thing. Like we've got people. Does anyone have anyone else want to state what they want to do? Like what solution will you implement first? All right. So does anyone have any other questions or anything for us? Okay. So I think we're tired. We've given you enough. You're like, I'm done. I'm spent. Which is totally good. So, if you while I'm going through the final score slides, if you want to go ahead and put any of your key takeaways in the chat, that would be wonderful. And if not, then I'm just gonna tell you about encouraging. I just want the number one thing that we walk away with tonight is that to encourage each other more. So Karen led on to the biggest secret of the whole night is that there really are no problems. There really are no problems. Our human brain is designed to look for problems to keep us safe. So that's why we have to use this language. However, they are all opportunities. They are all opportunities. Um, so if we just can encourage each other through that and help support each other, we'll have some final words about SCORE. Um, SCORE, remember that SCORE is here for you. We have remote mentoring, resilience training, and a resource portal. So at every stage you can find educational content. Like even this will be up on their YouTube channel, so you can refer back to it. And if I know that we referenced a few times the other workshops in the series, so if you wanted to go back and watch more of where we dove into knowing your why and culture and leadership, feel free to go back to any of those. Um, some of the areas that volunteers are serving currently in Cleveland are Cuyahoga, Lake, Lorraine, Geauga, Ashtabula, Huron, and other Erie counties. So there's a lot going on. That they haven't given us the new update, but as of 2020, this is a lot that's going on in SCORE. And We are here for you, and all the services are free. And across the board, SCORE has a network of over 10,000 volunteers, which is pretty amazing because it's all powered by the Small Business Association. So it's really exciting. Does anyone have any other questions at all tonight? Karen, do you have any questions?
I am good. I am good. Thank you, Tracy.
Yeah. Well, it was an absolute pleasure to be here with you. I hope you're going to walk away with a new vision of looking at problems as actual opportunities to create solutions for you, your business, your staff, and your home life. If you want to reach out and connect, I'm everywhere. I'm all the places. And um, the other thing is that Karen and I will stay on for the next few minutes if anyone wants to ask us questions privately, but you are free to go. We still ended early to give you back some of your life, and it was such a pleasure being here with you. I hope that you are able to go out and implement these new strategies and that you have tremendous success inside of your businesses.
Thank you, everybody. Be on the lookout for more great workshops from SCORE.
Absolutely. Oh, we have a
Oh,
question.
you're very welcome, Barbara. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. Yeah, I can't wait to hear how it goes when Georgina and Barbara implement. Yes. So
Yes.
Okay, are we off?
Yes.
I have a
No. Well,
question.
you can go ahead and
good
ask.
question. Go
Yes.
ahead. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, okay, so okay, I see well, it's just left.
Sorry.
Okay,
I keep it back. I'm like, wait, I have one more slide to share. Go ahead.
yeah, for both of you, like if I want to contact you guys for just information to throw some ideas out at you, I will go through your contact.
The best place to probably get a hold of me would be on LinkedIn. Um, the best place to get a hold of me or Karen would probably be on LinkedIn. And then we can guide you in the right direction. And then if you want a SCORE mentor, you can fill that out on the SCORE website. Karen and I are just subject matter experts. But I provide tons of content. I have lots of free content going on every single week, and SCORE, and Karen has a lot of free content out there as well. But SCORE will give you a free mentor that can work side by side with you. We're just here to help amplify that. Did I answer your question?
Georgine, you're
Yes, you
muted.
did.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yes,
Okay.
you did. And like I said, I had went through there and I filled out the information for a mentor. I just hadn't heard any feedback yet. And it's
Mhm.
been,
Oh,
I think they give you like 42, 48 hours or something
okay.
within. They're supposed to get back with you. So it's
Mhm.
been longer than that. And I've been checking my email, so I'm
Oh, okay.
concerned. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then definitely reach out to me or Karen on LinkedIn and we'll pass that information along to Anita.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll make sure she knows that.
Okay.
We'll let somebody know that you're looking. But in the meantime, certainly, for just some general questions, we're happy to do
Yes.
that. I mean, to be able to provide as much as we can. But
Right.
we also outside of SCORE have a whole lot of other stuff going on, but we're happy to help.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I understand that. That's why
Yeah.
I tried to just, come with direct questions,
Yeah.
not
Yes,
to
yes.
waste people time because time is valuable. I understand all
Absolutely.
that.
Well, you
Yeah.
did great, Georgine, and I appreciate that were engaged and were able to get something
Yes.
out of the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hmm.
So welcome. Barbara, can you grab or do you want the link to LinkedIn? Here, I can grab it off of the
Yeah.
slide for you. I think she asked. Let me see if I can do it. It doesn't always work so good when I'm doing in the share mode, but I'll do my best.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
Because I
you
need.
can stop sharing and then put it in there.
There's
Oh,
that. And
yours
then
worked.
Okay.
I don't think you have a Connect slide for me up there, so I'll have to go
I
out and
I
grab
think
mine.
I do. Oh yeah, will you grab it? I do. I
Yeah.
think it was on my, I don't know why it didn't transfer from last week.
Hold
So,
on just a
okay.
second.
I'm gonna unshare my slides now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then Karen will put her LinkedIn right in there.
Yeah.
And if anyone has any other questions, please let us know now or reach out. And this has been such a pleasure. I've really enjoyed working again with you, Karen, for the past 4 weeks. It's been super fun.
It has been a pleasure, and I really appreciate
Love it.
this is a great collaboration. Really, Tracy and I met doing these. We did not know each other before, but it
Yes, thank you.
A lot of good
Okay.
info.
Oh, go ahead, Georgine.
I
What
say
did
a
you want?
lot of good information you guys put out and a different way of thinking. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah, that's right. That's what it is always about, right?
Mhm.
yeah.
To be expanding the way that we look at things,
Yes.
bringing
Right.
more awareness.
Yeah.
That's what makes my heart happy. I'm glad you picked up on that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And what I've put out there for you is just my virtual business card. So it
Okay.
gives you the link to my Facebook, LinkedIn, um,
Oh,
and
awesome.
and all of that so that you can, however you most or best communicate, um, you can find me.
Karen, that
Okay.
looks great. I love that you updated that since I saw you last. I love it. It's
Oh,
adorable.
well,
Good
no, that
job.
is the same.
Really, it looks like it's updated. It looks fancier.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good. Barbara, did you have any questions before we? Oh, I thought I saw her raise her hand. Maybe I was wrong. Okay. Maybe she was just
All
in.
right.
Right.
Anybody else have any questions, final thoughts, anything you want to share? Because we have a few more minutes. If not, go back and enjoy the rest of your evening. And thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
All right, Tracy, thank you so much. It has, as always, a pleasure. We'll
Thank you.
talk soon.
Yes.
Enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody.
Can't wait for our next collaboration.
Yes,
Bye.
indeed.